There's scenes here at Perry Park.
Chris Lynn has taken the wild thing and sent him.
Oh, Bateman! Yes!
Welcome to episode 52 of the Beyond the Sidelines podcast, and it is 1 year officially. Where are the balloons? Where's the champagne?
Where's the champagne? Well, we've said millions of times, got to get the champers out.
Yeah, the yellow
We haven't
tail.
got the champers out.
Yeah.
Once. The
Is
yellow.
is that wine?
Yellow. Yeah, I think it is.
I
I
don't
think
know.
yellow. I think yellow is the one you're thinking of.
I just don't drink enough
$6, $12.
alcohol.
No,
Clearly,
me neither,
need to
mate.
drink some more. Yeah, no, but it is 1 year. It's just absolutely flown by. I can't believe
Wait.
how quickly it's gone.
How long was it?
1 year.
There we go.
1 year?
Yeah,
There we
just
go.
wanted
As
to
in
say it for the
52
fourth
weeks.
time.
52 weeks.
Yeah, yeah. So
We've had fun.
we have,
That's
yeah,
been-
yeah.
It's been good.
Yeah. What would you guys say? I mean, we're going to get into it in the middle of this episode, in the meat and potatoes of this episode, but
mate.
we're
There's
gonna outline our
definitely
favourites.
been some highlights, and I know.
Don't spoil them now. Don't spoil them
I'm
now.
not going to spoil them now, but
No, suspense, Gusman. Suspense.
yeah,
They've gotta keep listening.
You do have to listen because there are some funny ones. There are some, inspirational ones. There are some
Inspirational?
We haven't even talked about it.
There are
Yeah.
some, yeah. I know. There are some very
some sad ones.
Yeah, there are some very bold predictions
From
that
you, mate.
yes,
Yeah.
I know, and they actually made it into probably some of the funnier.
Yeah, you've had some hot
but-
takes,
yeah,
mate. I'll
yeah,
tell you
I
that.
have,
But
yeah.
let's get into today's first topics. We're talking a little bit about someone who's coming back. You'll be really happy about this.
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
mate.
Well, we're actually mentioning a little bit of. We're talking a bit of rugby league at the start here. Of course,
Rugby league.
Sonny Bill Williams, probably one of my favourite players. Not just because he played for the Roosters, but he's such a role model, such an athlete. I mean, the guy's 34, turning 35 next month, and he's still going on making serious money, playing rugby league, playing rugby union, boxing.
Well, that's the
Dude's
thing.
a freak.
I think he's got a career in sport after league and union if he ever decided to go back there for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Because his boxing career could last for another, 5-10 years, right?
Yeah, and he's
exactly.
pretty personable. Like, he could be doing some media stuff afterwards as well. Like, he's set, man. He's
Yeah.
absolutely
Oh,
set.
I don't think he'll do media.
You don't reckon?
No.
You reckon
I think he's-
doesn't want to?
He's almost too quiet. I don't think he
You
has
reckon?
the analysis. And plus, which sport
Yeah.
does he do
exactly.
it for?
Could
You
do
know,
any of them.
When when you've had a foot in so many camps, CJ, where do you go? Because that's swearing your allegiance to one sport. But I think his
Oh, not necessarily. You could do all of them. You could do league and union.
Triple M or something, he could do something like
Yeah,
that. But
exactly.
I think if he returns to the Chooks, mate, that's him going, I'm a leaguey. I think.
Yeah, I also think a big part of it is because you've got one of the best businessmen in Nick Politis at that club,
Politis.
Yeah.
and he can set you up for after your career.
Well, he had a
So
meeting.
he can get you a job in media. He can get you a job at the club. The Roosters want him to coach at the club as well, which is
Yeah.
something a lot of people are forgetting that they're going, oh, well, he's just doing it for the money, but he's actually doing it for after his career as well. I mean, this hasn't been announced yet, by the way, but
Here we go.
if
Who's your source?
Yeah. Where's it coming from, mate?
if he does sign, I think what he's signing for is his future beyond his
Yeah.
playing career.
Similar to
Wait,
kind of
sorry.
Luke Hodge in the AFL, I think, when
Yeah,
he came up to Brisbane.
No, that's what they're talking about. So apparently, Sonny Bill, he's going to sign for. This was on Fox Sports
Yeah.
yesterday, mate. This isn't not reported yet.
No, I was saying he hasn't
Not
signed
confirmed.
yet.
Okay.
It's not
Yeah, so
confirmed.
apparently he's going to sign for the final 4 games of the season and then the final series.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think if he joins that Chook squad, they're winning the flag or they're winning the grand final.
Does he step
Yeah.
in for someone else?
Absolutely, he does. You don't
Well-
sign Sonny Bill and let him sit on the bench.
No, you don't.
Well,
but
so, yeah,
But I
yeah.
think
I mean,
it's really rough on someone who's been there with the Chooks throughout the season so far.
yeah.
So many downs followed by a fair few ups. They've had to endure all that, and now they're going to go, hey, sorry, Sonny Bill's decided, Toronto have faltered, so now Sonny Bill's a free agent, so we're going to sign him for 6 games.
yeah. But I mean, you're not going to pass up Sonny Bill Williams.
You're not going to, but I think I would have
So-
liked him to go to the Warriors. I think that's a bit
Oh,
of a...
that'd be
The Warriors
cool.
could use him, but really, the Warriors aren't playing finals football, so he'd be there for 3 rounds.
They
4
aren't,
rounds.
but what's Sonny Bill's focus at the moment? I think, as a Kiwi, surely he would kind of, I would have liked to have seen him go, I appreciate the sacrifice these guys made. I appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that
Well,
they
they're
are
being
in,
selfish, mate. All the ones who went home, apparently.
They are being selfish.
well,
Isn't that right,
it's
Gusman?
an
According to Gus.
opinion. Yeah, they're not selfish. I just think it's unfair on the other guys still at the club there.
I still can't
That
believe
they've
after
sort of left him in the dust there.
after 7 days, you still haven't changed your mind on that. when
Well,
it's
I think it's a pretty valid point.
okay.
I mean, they can do what they want, but
This is true. But again,
Yeah.
like I was saying, I think Sonny Bill, I would have liked to have seen him go as a Kiwi. I know that these guys have made so many sacrifices, and again, as a Kiwi, I want to go back and help these boys. Play for the Warriors, play for a team who represents Auckland, where he is, of course, from. I think it would have made a bit of sense. I think, it would have been really cool to see. And the Warriors needed it, guys. They needed some leadership. They needed some professionalism. But I think for him to go to the Chooks, that's him going, I want to win a ring. Another ring.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, also the coaching thing is a big part of it. We do see that a lot in AFL as well and other codes that, players go to another team to, spend the last year of their career and then right off into the sunset with a coaching position.
okay. Well, Sonny Bill's also thinking for himself and what's best for him, right? I believe he's got family in Australia, not in New Zealand.
No,
I mean, I guarantee he'd want to help New Zealand out, but what he's looking for, he's looking for what's best for me, and the Warriors really is probably not the best option for him.
But
They're not going to offer him a lot.
Are you thinking
They're gonna-
performance or financial here, mate? Because
I'm thinking future.
Bit of both.
I'm thinking the future for him because he might pick up $150,000 from 4 games or however many games he plays the rest of this year, but he's looking past that and what the Roosters can offer him in comparison to other clubs in the NRL.
Look, I
Nick Politis can offer him pretty much anything.
the Warriors would chuck the kitchen sink at SBW. They would, but they just don't have the lure that the Chooks have. And Politis, again, a very smart man. This isn't anything new. Whenever you talk about the salary cap and how the Roosters is somehow under it, it's because of Politis.
Oh yeah,
It's 'cause he's smart.
He's a genius.
He is very smart. He's very smart. He's a bit wacky at
A little
times.
bit
He
wacky.
can
He
be.
is a bit, yeah.
He can be, but he's a very smart man.
Yes.
And I agree. The offer to go, you know what, Sonny, next year, if because of the Wolfpack situation, you can come in as an assistant coach. That's tempting.
Oh, yeah.
But actually, that in itself, Toronto, they withdrew from the Super League season this year due to COVID and the financial instability there, I guess. But that's Sonny Bill missing out on $10 million, isn't it? Does he get any of that? Yes.
No, he
Sure, there'd
got
be some that's guaranteed.
So it was $5
That's
million.
American thing.
Yeah.
The guaranteed contract. So I don't think that's a.
Canadian thing.
No, I don't think that's a. Well, again, even though they're Canada,
Yeah.
they're basically an English team
I think there would be some that's still guaranteed.
because
I don't think
Yeah.
it would be set up on weekly salary and stuff like that.
No, so I believe the situation. He was supposed to get $5 million this year,
Yep.
and he's been paid 2.5
Yeah.
because they played half a season.
Yeah.
So,
Did they?
well,
They won
well,
one
they
game.
played. They played 6 games, I think, in total.
and he played like 3, I think.
No, he
and
played all of them.
I don't think so.
He'd still get
So,
paid even
yeah,
if he's not playing.
Yeah,
though.
that doesn't
Doesn't matter
but
if he's playing or not.
That's what I heard. He got paid $2.5 million for 6 games, which is pretty good.
He'd froth
Pretty
that.
good money. But there's a lot of speculation going around about Toronto and then not paying players. So there's it's a bit up in the air with that club as well.
Well, I also wonder where the money's coming from for that club because not that many
Yeah.
people are watching it.
yeah.
And I mean, have you seen their stadium? Not huge. They're not getting a lot of ticket numbers.
It's a bit suspect.
It is a
right
little bit
now,
suspect.
But
Mate,
so
it was dead from the get-go.
Yeah.
It really was. They set themselves up to fail, not only when it comes to their facilities, like you said, CJ. I think their stadium's about 10,000.
Yeah.
When
Which we'd love in Brisbane, the
You'd love it in
A-League
Brisbane.
and stuff like
Yeah,
that. Well,
but,
yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't make sense when you're then playing away to, Warrington, whoever's stadium that's 35 or something. It just doesn't make sense. It shows that you are a smaller club and not so much that you're content with that, but that's how your future's going to be.
Yeah.
And then, personnel-wise, man, other than Sonny Bill, they just did not have the players.
yeah,
They did not have the players.
There's a bunch of Joes.
They had average first grade NRL players, guys like Josh
Chase
McCrone
Stanley.
and Chase Stanley. They'd left the NRL to try and do well in the Super League. But I mean, Toronto was coming last, so clearly Sonny Bill didn't really have much of an impact straight away. But
He was quite average.
yeah, I mean, when he was at the Roosters in 2013, he didn't have an impact straight away there either, and they went on to win the premiership. So I don't know. The guy's 35, but he still manages to put up unbelievable
look,
efforts.
again,
Like,
he-
seriously, he's
he-
a freak.
He puts up numbers. That's the thing, mate. And
Yeah.
I think the fact he's such a face. He's such an icon of New Zealand sport and I guess rugby union, of rugby league. That's why people want to sign him.
Yeah. 100%.
One, he is a professional. I think he stretches back in his prime. I'm not sure if he still does it, but he stretches for like an hour a day.
Oh,
type
Good
thing.
on him.
wouldn't be
You know,
surprised.
Well, if you were getting paid that much, you would be too,
But again,
probably.
it's the extras. It's the 1%ers that I think that have always set SPW apart.
Dude's 99% muscle. He's got to stretch it out. Like, seriously.
Yeah,
Exactly.
He's
So
huge.
I think he has a career in boxing, unless he wants to take up this gig with the Roosters.
Well,
now.
yeah.
So apparently, again, some of these rumours, these are all rumours. Let's make that very clear. But apparently he's going to sign by the end of the week. So hopefully by the time this podcast is out,
Yeah.
you'll you know, the news is already out.
Well,
but
see,
as
they've
we
got
said,
to
so-
do it quickly because he doesn't have an Australian visa. He has a New Zealand visa, and they've got to do what they did with what's his name? The guy
Kiwis
Bulldog
and
signed.
Australians can go over.
Yeah, no, I know, but
No.
they've got to get special.
Okay.
They've got to get special exemption for someone who hasn't got an Australian visa right now.
No,
Okay, right
so-
now,
so-
yeah.
If you don't have an Australian visa, because he is in Manchester right
Yeah.
now, for him to come to Australia, he would have to get an exemption to
Yeah.
come in and then quarantine for 2 weeks, or he would have to go to New Zealand, quarantine for 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and then come to Australia
in quarantine.
and quarantine for another 2 weeks.
So it was the same with Luke Thompson, who signed for the Bulldogs from St Helens. He had to wait like 4 months, I think, before he
Jesus.
could come. 1 month, so 4
Yeah.
weeks before he could come over, and then wait another 2 weeks in quarantine. So
Mm.
it'd leave Sonny Bill with probably 4 rounds plus finals to play.
That's
So
fair enough.
that's why I don't think he's going to go to a side who's not going to make finals, like the Warriors
Yeah.
or like Brisbane or
That's true,
any
actually.
of them.
That's a really good point.
He's
Yeah.
going to go to a side that he knows is probably going to play finals. So the Roosters are probably going to play finals.
Yeah.
There's been talk about the Dragons, but I think that would be a bit of a... I don't know, because I don't know if they're going to play finals either.
Mm.
The Bulldogs as well have been up in the air, but they're not going to play finals, so why
No.
would he go there?
He'll go to Chooks.
And they
yes,
hate him
anyway.
as well. So,
Yeah, they do. Again, he just walked out on them.
Yeah,
Went to
which was
Toulon. I
pretty
think
dog
didn't he
move.
basically just not rock up one day and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm on my way
Oh,
to
he just
France."
jumped on a plane.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Fair play.
that's quite topical in itself, boys. But another thing that's happening this week in the world of rugby league / rugby union is, of course, Rugby Australia apparently chucking the kitchen sink. I've said that twice already.
Yeah.
$3 million at a 16-year-old.
Yeah, this
is ridiculous.
This just popped up on Fox Sports the other day.
Well, we've
and-
heard of this kid before. We heard
yeah.
it initially when he signed his first deal. But
Yeah, I mean, initially he signed a $1.7 million deal with Souths for 3
Yeah.
years, and that was the biggest contract for a 16-year-old teenager.
16.
And now,
crazy,
he's
man.
16 years of age, and now it's believed that Rugby Australia has thrown $3 million at this guy
over 3
for
years.
For 3
I
years,
think-
he'll get
word.
300,000 in the
300K.
first year and $2.7 million over the next 2 years after that.
This is absolutely ridiculous.
We've
I
done
think-
the wrong career path, boys.
God,
What's
I
going
don't
on?
know what.
I just don't understand this at all. Now, Rugby Australia, for starters, they do not have the financial security to be throwing $3 million at a 16-year-old.
They really do
This
not.
isn't the English Premier League. This isn't the world
Yeah,
of football.
exactly.
Mate, they can't pay for marketing,
Mate,
let alone
Well,
a
that's the
bloody
thing.
$3 million
that's
player.
the thing. Like, he's 16. And Rugby Australia, they don't have a broadcast deal from next year, Gusman.
Yeah.
Mm.
And they don't even know what their competition's going to look like next year, CJ.
They have no
Quick
idea.
side note, apparently, so New Zealand have said, if Australia want to join us in a Super Rugby competition from 2021, we can have 2 Australian teams.
Yep.
I don't know this for sure, but I'm presuming the Waratahs and the Reds.
Yep.
The Rugby Australia have responded going, if we don't have 5 teams with you, we're not going with you. And apparently Rugby Australia have reached out to the Sunwolves, let's remember them, the Moondogs, about possibly forming an 8-team competition, which I guess would see the Force come back into the fold permanently
Yep.
and expansion of some kind. But basically, they don't know what that's going to look like. And that's going to cost a lot of money to set up and get it, get off the ground.
Yeah.
This, to me, shows that Rugby Australia is reasonably content in being behind the AFL and the NRL by some margin, because they're investing their money in simply the wrong areas.
I
Signing
think
the
this
next-
is a...
Mate,
I-
signing
yeah.
the next Kalen Ponga or the next Israel Folau is
Yeah.
not what's going to take the Wallabies
Yeah.
or Rugby Australia to the glory lane.
Well, Rugby Australia CEO Rob Clark said that these numbers are being speculated by the media. That $3 million isn't actually what they've offered.
Interesting.
That they're just in talks with him. But where has this number come from?
It's come from
Because,
somewhere.
yeah, obviously there's been a leak somewhere, and they're clearly interested in this guy.
Yeah.
And well, they're obviously, if they want him, they're obviously going to have to go over 1.7 million. So
Yeah.
That's too
it's,
much
it's
for a
still
16-year-old.
it's still a lot of
I
money,
don't-
regardless.
I don't understand. Invest that money in the grassroots.
Yeah.
Invest that money in a new super competition, which is going to set the platform for the next few years. Invest that money in expanding the NRC. Let's see Adelaide in the fold.
Instead of buying these players, you can develop them
yeah.
And then other codes will be wanting to.
Well, the thing is,
to pick 'em up.
they did develop him.
Yeah,
He's playing for King's
That's
College.
true.
It's a rugby union school, and then simply they don't have the money because they can then pick. They're not tied down
Yeah.
since they're 12. They can then pick. Oh, well, the Chooks or the Rabbitohs offered me 1.7 million. Oh, I'll go there.
Well, yeah.
The Rugby Australia has to compete with that, like because we've seen this so much. We saw it with Kalen Ponga. We've seen it with so many.
Well, I think of another one who went to King's College, Angus Crichton.
Mm.
Played Australian schoolboys, played for that first side at King's College, went straight to rugby league as well.
His highlight reel was very good.
Yeah.
I mean,
Playing 12, I
God.
think he was.
three
Yeah, very
Brisbane
good.
Grammar boys debuted for have played
for
for the
Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Yeah.
They've all debuted this year for the Cowboys. They're coming from a rugby union school and
But
playing rugby
This,
league.
Rugby Australia, I guess, just does not have the funds to really, keep hold of these players, and it's not anything new.
Mm.
The NRL, if it sees talent such as Kalen Ponga, can throw money that Rugby Australia normally can't match. And I think Rugby Australia, I think they're getting desperate.
Yeah,
Chance,
I think they are too. Because they're going, I mean, like it or not, Kalen Ponga draws eyeballs, right?
Mm.
So if you have another play like this, people will probably tune in. People do like Kalen Ponga. You're gonna. I feel a part of me is a bit undecided about this. I completely agree. They need to develop in or invest in a more sustainable development of talent.
See,
But
yeah.
you also need to compete with them on a contract standpoint.
See, the
but you
pro-
also need to secure your competition format.
The
Well, I
problem
think
with
There's
this,
so many holes.
the problem with this is this guy's a player. So one knee injury and he's gone.
Yep.
But imagine having
100%.
$3 million when you're 19. Like, you're not going to knock that back.
No way.
There's absolutely no chance. But I think Rugby Australia, what it's always lacked is a pathway system.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think they had Super Rugby under 20s at one point. Then they had the URC, which is the under 19s Rugby Championship.
Yep.
That's been good. But you look at the NRL, or Rugby League, I guess, and they've got, Intra Super Cup and,
Jersey
Canterbury
Flag.
Cup,
See,
Jersey Flag. It's more of a, I guess, there's a pathway. It's a defined pathway.
Yeah,
It's
I don't-
about-
Through the clubs as well. So you've got the junior club system.
Yeah.
You've got Intra Super Cup.
'Cause
Cup,
I-
which are
I don't-
feeder
I don't think-
clubs.
I
the-
remember playing for Norths when I was like 10, and I had the Broncos jersey.
Yeah, exactly.
Broncos
And-
logo on my
And
jersey.
people grow up wanting to play for
No, because
the first side.
that's in a way who you're representing. You're associated with that club, and that club's investing in. I was by no means a standout or anything, but investing in Norths as a club, and then it's junior talent.
Mm.
Well,
I think it's a bit tough because I think the pathway for rugby union is not that bad. Because you've got, okay, how do you go in rugby union? You play for your high school, you play for club as a kid, where you probably don't play. Thing is, you don't really play in high school for your club because you're playing high school if you're playing first 15.
Yeah, but
You can't
how
play for club.
active are a side like the Queensland Reds in these
Investing in the clubs?
lower competitions like
Like what, like-
GPS or like
I think they're quite
University of
active in-
Queensland and
I think
I think they're quite
East.
active in that.
they are active.
I think they
especially-
maybe don't invest enough money in, Sunnybank Brothers in the Prem grade competition. They do
the
a
high
bit,
and the high
but-
school system. Especially GPS. I didn't see the Queensland Reds really
Look,
being like vocal at all in
They're
that
s-
competition.
They're certainly invested in the Premier Grade rugby system.
Yeah.
They do a lot of coverage on that, guys.
Yeah.
A lot of
Oh, they
coverage.
do.
And I guess they're constantly in talks with players who are not in the Red squad, but I
Well,
guess
Dane Zanders is a good example of that.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess, but I'm talking more about someone like Sam Wallace, who's the
Mhm.
UQ captain who was called in before Super Rugby AU kicked off. This is a guy who's going to play for UQ this year, but he's in the fold.
Mm.
Players know where they stand. I think
Yeah.
that's the important thing. GPS, I still think that's very much on you. Now, I don't think Rugby Australia, the Reds, could really step up and intervene there until it gets to Queensland School Board trials.
but also,
That's when they step in.
I think
agree.
they're stepping in too late because we see some of these high school kids. They're going when they're 16.
Yeah,
They're going
signing
when
already.
they're in year 12, and by the time they're playing first grade rugby union or Premier grade rugby union, it's too late. All the good ones are gone.
You mean
All-
first 15?
Yeah, well, like,
yeah, I agree.
I mean, but by the time they pick them up in Premier grade,
Mm.
they've missed out on guys like Suwali and Kalen Ponga and stuff because they've left straight out of high school to go play rugby league.
Yeah, I
think
agree.
Rugby in this country, except for, the junior Wallabies last year were outstanding, right? Equal best finish ever. So we've seen a lot of those guys step in as the new World Cup cycle has started, right? But normally, you debut at 21, 22, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how it's always been. It's very uncommon for these, such as, Joseph, to kind of go in. like he's expected to debut for the Waratahs like next month. I think that's
That's
what I read
crazy,
somewhere.
man.
If he does sign,
He'll be the youngest ever debutant
You know-
since James O'Connor,
exactly. So it's stuff
which
where
is the youngest ever.
it's stuff where it's like that's just so bizarre. It's such a standout moment because normally you have to wait until you really develop
Yeah.
to get your chance, to get your shot. Whereas in rugby league, again, there's that pathway. So you get that opportunity against players similar to your level and you develop alongside them. I don't know. I just think
And 18-year-olds can debut.
they can, mate. But again, it's
Who's the youngest debutant? Tamalolo?
For rugby
For
league.
NRL, yeah.
He wouldn't have a clue.
He wasn't the youngest. He was one of.
Yeah.
He did debut.
Freddie
at 18.
Fittler debuted when he was like 17.
Yeah. So it happens more, I think, than in rugby union. Like,
Well, used to have a rule where you couldn't debut until you were like 21 years of age because they
hate
didn't want
that.
the kids getting hurt.
Well, I think also Rugby Australia just can't compete with the contracts because players in high school go, look,
Exactly.
if the
Well,
Cowboys are going to offer me
it's-
a lot more money, maybe pay for my tuition,
Yeah.
I'm going to go there.
Money speaks. And
Yeah.
you're going to go for, whoever's got the biggest paycheck is,
Yeah.
you're going to go there.
Well, I guess
It's easy
the way to
as it is.
summarise this, gents, is the fact is he's 16. He's being offered $3 million. Apparently, he's going to take that.
Take
Oh,
the
yeah.
money, boy.
But Rugby Australia shouldn't be offering that in the first place.
No,
Yeah.
they should not.
Yeah, I hope he goes because I hate South. Anyway, yeah, boys. Now we will be talking about our top. What are we going with? Top three moments each. I
Yeah,
reckon
sure.
that's
Go for it.
probably our top 3 moments over the last 52 weeks. So you can listen to that right now.
And welcome back. So, like Gusman so joyously introduced just before moments ago, we are talking about our top 3 moments from the year that was with the Beyond the Sidelines podcast. We'll start with Gusman.
Yeah.
Jetpack, surely.
No, okay. In at number 3.
Oh, so this is the third.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 3.
Okay.
Okay. I made some very bold predictions throughout this podcast, throughout
Yep.
the 52 weeks. Probably the boldest was Russia to win the Rugby World Cup.
Was good.
I don't think it was.
I've put that.
You've made some stinkers, man.
I've made some stinkers. Give myself a little bit of credit. I also said England would win or get close to winning.
Yeah.
No, again, they didn't win, though. So you can't claim that.
Yeah. What did I actually say about Russia? Did I say they were going to
No, I
think
get
you
out
said
of the
they'd
group?
Yeah, I think you
No, I
did.
think you said they'd be competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which they weren't.
Well,
They scored the first try against Japan. Sweet.
And
but
yeah, give me a little bit of credit there. They scored the first try
Of the World Cup.
against Japan, of the World Cup, which no one expected. What were their odds in that World Cup? Like 500 to 1?
man, that happens.
Probably more.
know.
I think when the All Blacks played Namibia at the 2015 World Cup.
Namibia.
Namibia.
Something like that, whatever.
Yeah.
Too many B's in there, mate.
I
Namibia.
think they scored the first try.
Yeah.
Or they scored, I guess, they certainly scored a try early on.
Yeah.
So it's a similar tale, but I think your hottest take, mate, was only a
Yeah.
few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I
Mate,
think so as well.
The Kangaroos any of the Kangaroos
Ah,
would
yeah,
walk into
yeah.
the All
Word.
Blacks.
This was so hot.
You know, I try.
Is that
and,
your third moment?
I try and
Sorry?
Is that your third moment?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
You're gonna
that's
be
your.
saving them up.
Okay.
No, that's not
I
my,
thought that
that's
would
not
have
my
been
third moment. I'm just
Okay.
saying.
All right, I'll claim
Well,
it as
no,
mine then.
that definitely was a hot take. Because I still sort of stand by. I try and make headlines throughout this podcast. I try and push the envelope a little bit. I do think some of the, probably not all of them. That was a bit of an overstatement, but I
You
do
said
think
it,
some
mate.
of them could make it into that
The fact you've had
Kiwi side.
4 weeks or so to think about
about
this,
this.
and you still think anyone except maybe Tedesco on a good day would walk into that team?
I think Kalen Ponga would make it into the side as well.
All right. I'm going to claim that as my third since you
because
hopped ahead.
I thought he was talking about
No, he was
kind of
talking about
his,
a specific moment.
oh, but
He was
okay.
talking about
Yeah.
a specific moment, so
Yeah.
I'm going to claim it.
Yeah.
I loved seeing the comments on that video
Yeah.
or on that post.
Yeah, some people did not agree with it.
You were getting
at all.
roasted.
I haven't actually read most of them. I read some of the YouTube ones.
That's
but
our highest performing YouTube video, I think.
I was pushing. I was creating headlines and it worked.
And I think every comment was pretty much, whoa, 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 whoa.
Exactly. Calling
Hang
you
on
out.
there, chief.
I still stand by the fact that some of them could make it into the All Blacks side. The All Blacks aren't unbelievable. They verse the Wallabies, mate. The Wallabies are dreadful. They verse Ireland. Look out! Oh, they're going to be a really tough test.
You're so right.
If Sonny Bill could make it into that side, I'm sure.
You were singing his praises at the start of the
Oh
season.
yeah, he's a great player, but he's not the best ever. He is a great player.
Mate, people want him to be the first Kiwi immortal in the league.
Yeah, no doubt. I reckon he's outstanding. But there are other immortals. There are other great players who I think will be immortals. I reckon Tedesco will be an immortal. I reckon if Kalen Ponga won a few premierships at Newcastle, he could be an immortal.
Could be. He's still got the rest of his career to play.
Yeah,
He does.
Dude's like 20.
He does. I
Or
don't know.
21. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Finn.
But there's definitely some talent there. So
Yes.
definitely some talent.
Finn, yours,
mate.
mate.
I think the first standout moment for me, something you can't relate to, unfortunately, something you can, Gusman, is getting in the ring with Dundee Cam. Now, this was, man, I just remember kind of like time froze, faithful, when I stepped into that ring and someone started counting down from 3. And then I dummied behind him, got him to turn around, and he did. And then I joked.
Can you believe he fell for that?
Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
God.
And then
Dundee.
and then I like joked the punch, and he went, "Oh, okay, game on." And
Yeah.
I got tossed around
Yeah.
for about a minute.
You know,
You tried to give him that. What's that over there?
Yeah, I can't believe he fell for that. But
Yeah.
big news.
Surely
with,
you've seen that before.
big news with Dundee as well. Apparently he was jumping ship from, or he has jumped ship from the Horn camp.
That was ages ago.
Yeah, I know it was a while ago, but
Yeah.
apparently he was helping out Tim Zoo. But I
didn't
know
see
how
that.
true that is.
Yeah,
I think they just had a chat, and the media went, "Oh, he's jumped ship to Tim Zoo's camp."
Yeah.
But I don't know the truth to that. But yeah, that's interesting.
Mate, let's talk about getting in the ring because I think chatting to him for starters, he had a pretty interesting story. Of
Very
his
amazing.
interesting life.
But mate, getting in the ring. Now, what was your mindset? What was your approach? What were your tactics and strategy when you went through the ropes?
So
You know
for
what,
the listeners who haven't listened to it, this is Jeff Horn's strength and conditioning trainer, or
Yeah.
former strength and conditioning
yeah,
trainer.
look, I didn't want to hurt him. I'm not a violent person.
Didn't
so
want to hurt him.
I didn't. No. See,
I don't think you have to be worried about
I
that,
knew I
mate.
probably wouldn't hurt him, but I was just like, I don't want to hit too hard in case I do. You know, was that the same with you? Were you like, oh,
I didn't
a little
fight
bit?
him, so-
Yeah, you didn't fight. You.
I had to film because
No,
you know
I had to film.
I'm the glue that keeps.
Yeah,
this
you
show
backed out of
together.
it. No, I was a bit worried that I'd actually hit him and hurt him, but of course I shouldn't have been worried at all because every single shot I tried to put on his chin, he just dodged and
Yeah.
and
I
hit
was
me
already
straight
pretty
back.
uncomfortable because you didn't ask if we could get in the ring beforehand.
Yeah. Honestly, it was like fighting a shadow.
Yeah, it was.
I was swinging and he was over there and then he was over there and he'd hit me and my face mask could swing
Spin
around and I'd be blind. And I was like, I can't see you. And he'd just be hitting me.
Mate,
I had a headache.
You always hear about how boxers are so quick.
Yeah.
And I guess I always thought, I backed myself in a 100-meter dash. I do okay. And then stepping in the ring, it was like something it was something I'd never seen before. Honestly, it was that amazing.
And you fancy yourself as a bit of a boxer. You hurt your wrist the other day from punching a bag with no gloves.
I was, yeah, something like that, CJ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I think
He did better than me. I just had
Yeah,
no
he did.
balance or coordination. I was just swinging.
I thought I did okay. Now, when we published that video,
Mm.
we only published the bad. Now, I did okay for the first 10, 15 seconds. But I was the same with you where...
You got my worst swing in there where I just like...
Oh, it was just like,
boom. It was just like the biggest windmill.
biggest air. Like, just caught a
Yeah.
hole of
Massive air swing.
Oh, it was
No,
horrid.
but I was in the same boat as you, I guess, Gusman,
Yeah.
where I didn't really want to hit him in the face.
Yeah.
So if you... Obviously, that will never be
because
published.
he wasn't wearing a headgear. either.
No. So I thought, if I did land one,
Just work the body.
just work the body,
work the
tire him
body.
out,
Yeah.
and then get him.
Third, fourth round.
Yeah.
You've got him.
First round, I'll play with him.
Play with
Second
him.
round, put him to sleep.
Just dance around a little bit. Yeah.
That was my plan until someone told me, it's only a 1 minute bout. And then I thought,
All
okay.
right, First 30 seconds. Play around with him.
No, but I didn't really want to hit him in the face. Like,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was
exactly.
quite
You
weird,
don't want
but
to hit anyone in the
He,
face.
he was our guest. I was like, I don't want to
but
hit
then,
him.
Good thing we did the
You can
interview
hit me.
first.
I don't want to hit you.
Good thing we did the
Yeah,
interview
exactly.
first.
That's
but then it got to the stage where I just wanted to hit any of them, not in a malice way.
Yeah.
I just couldn't
Just wanted to make contact.
because
Yeah.
he was so quick.
Yeah.
Again, you'd punch
It's the footwork, mate.
and then he'd be away. It was absolutely insane.
He was
but
proper dancing.
And look, and we were only in there for a minute each,
Mm.
and he probably got 50 punches on us.
Yeah, you guys were knackered. after
And it was terrible, but he was going easy as well.
The
he,
heck-
he
we've
was
been,
tapping. He was if he really wanted to hit us, we'd be
Well,
out
actually,
in the first
that's
10
the
seconds.
that's the thing. Getting hit in the face, I'd never been hit in the face.
Yeah, exactly.
But the pure adrenaline of the whole thing, plus of
Yeah.
course you do have a headgear on, and of course he's wearing a glove. You kind of just bounce off it in a way.
that. Yeah.
But I think it was also the fact that as soon as he hit me in the face, I knew there were another 3 punches coming.
Yeah.
Not to mention
So-
we were at the Pig and Whistle Riverside the night before, correct?
Oh, yeah.
We were watching Paul
the
Gallen, Barry
Paul
Hall.
Gallen, Barry
And
Hall
I
the
remember
night
watching
before.
that going, God, these guys are average. You know, if I got my chance, if I had my chance, I'd be okay.
I could take you Barry Hall,
Yeah.
one of the most renowned brawlers in AFL history.
Yeah.
And then, I was, my ego took a bit of a hit the next day, the next morning. And I think the interview was
Is that
about
all the time? I need to
8
punch
a.m.
you more, mate.
It was good fun, though. I think that was certainly one of the highlights of this whole experience to me, because this hasn't just been the podcast, I guess, obviously the stuff we've done on social media, but of course, beating people at their own game. I know we've done that only a couple of times, but that's still...
Beat Bryn Narron at his own.
Oh.
you did actually, to
Only
be
one
fair.
to return a serve.
But again,
Beat's a strong word. I wouldn't say we beat anyone.
no, but...
we
No.
they let us off pretty easy. But
no,
yeah.
but again, I think
That's
that
why
was
they're professional, we're not.
yeah.
easily one of the stand-up moments for me. But Gusman, number 2.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to go with, boys? This was another embarrassing one for me. Your 19th birthday, Campbell. Now, this was a bit of
20th.
20th, sorry.
20th,
This was
yeah.
a bit of a...
So funny. Oh,
This
my
was a
word.
bit of a surprise for me. We were talking about doing... We never actually did this, but we were
No.
talking about doing a thing for November in here.
Well, we
where
all were growing our
Yeah, we were...
tashes out.
Yeah, attempting.
Yeah.
But we were
Still
going
am- still am, can't you tell?
We were going to do a live stream on our Facebook.
24 hours.
24 hours staying in here wearing God knows what sort
Well,
of costume.
We weren't actually, to be fair.
We weren't going to, but we convinced you
Yeah.
that we were.
Yeah,
You're going
you
to sit
can...
in a radio studio for 24 hours dressed up as a cheerleader.
I was
Yeah.
going to be dressed up as a
Hot dog. And I was going as the yellow Teletubby.
Yeah. Yeah, so...
That was, I got to say, sorry, Gusman, but that was great improv
Great.
by CJ and I. Because...
great improv.
No, great. We just finish each other's.
no, but because we were in Spotlight and we managed to convince Gus, without even communicating beforehand, that he should dress up as a cheerleader and that we
Well,
had-
no, as a nurse.
as a nurse first. No, but then he
And
was
then
like-
he suggested.
he said, I don't really feel like dressing up like a nurse. I'll dress up as a cheerleader instead. Each to their own.
Yeah,
And then on
you
the
know
spot, we went, oh yeah, hot dog, Teletubby,
Mhm.
and you bought it.
You know how hard it
Yeah.
was to not laugh
Oh.
during this whole time?
I think I ran away at one point. I think
Yeah.
I ran away to the other side of the store.
I think
just
I went
so
to
could
look
laugh.
at some other linen or something
I
like
spent
that. Like,
$20 on the worst costume. I
you got
tried to
use out
put
of
it
it.
on and it wouldn't fit.
but how did you get use out of it?
So yeah, well, actually, you know what? You know what I was going to do?
It's still at my house, by the way.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I was going to.
I don't wear it, I
I was going to wear it on the train up to
That's what
Wollongong.
Albion.
we were wondering. Are we going to see you?
I was gonna get on the train at Milton in a cheerleader outfit, travel on the train for 10-15 minutes to Albion,
Yeah.
and then go to this party wearing this. Honestly, it was terrible. You'd see
It is
my
bad.
snail
Your
trail,
snail
my
trail,
gut. It was just, it was horrible.
Well, because we said, obviously, my 20th birthday, we were going down to the Bowls Club. I think we've spoken about this on the show before,
Yeah.
but we'll just go over it again. We're going down the Bowls Club. Nothing in the description mentions dress-ups at all.
No.
But we managed to convince you by saying, oh, I just messaged them privately in a group chat we have.
Yeah.
Bought it straight away.
I didn't even think.
You didn't
I was
think
like,
twice,
okay.
and then we rock up to the train station wearing nothing. Well, we were wearing clothes. We weren't wearing
You
nothing.
dog.
Yeah.
Finn and I just
Ooh,
in the
you
car
sly
completely
dog.
naked.
Yeah.
No, but we were like, oh, it's too hot. With the leather seats and stuff, it's too hot.
Yeah.
And then
I bought that as well straight away.
and then we
Because I brought a bag, I think, with like, just to put my wallet in. Or something like that.
just a huge duffel
Yeah.
bag.
No, it was, yeah.
Decoy.
Yeah, it was a decoy. And then I told you, yeah, it's in here. And you were like, can I see it? And I said, no.
I
You'll
wanted
have to
be a
see it when I put it
surprise.
on. And you went, okay. and then we get to Campbell's.
Surely that's a red flag.
No. And then we get to Campbell's, and Charlotte's laughing.
my little sister.
but
Oh,
we're
yeah.
still playing along because I said, oh, Gus, do you want to get changed first? Our costumes take less time to get on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you went, okay.
We're just sliding them over the top of ours,
Clearly, I was very keen to put this costume on
Exactly.
regardless.
which is great. All
Yeah.
for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then you came out, we were burst out laughing, Charlotte was laughing, and then the best part of it all was Charlotte then going, Angus, do you want me to brush your hair? It being your blonde wig. And it was like, man,
It was
just,
brilliant.
it was, I don't know, Gusman, it's kind of, You've built up a bit of a reputation as being a bit gullible over the last year, I'll tell you what. In a good way, mate. It's been a bit of fun.
Honestly, I don't know how I had no idea as well until you were all laughing at me, and then I realized, okay, this might be a joke.
They might be taking
This
the
might
piss.
be a joke. And
Luckily, you still brought like a good pair of clothes.
yeah.
Yeah.
The worst thing is I didn't get a receipt from Spotlight, so I can't return it.
And of course,
So,
then Campbell's 20th, which was good fun.
yeah.
But then we left
I
a
was
bit early.
raining the whole time.
Yeah.
We left a bit early, and
Yeah.
it took us an hour to find public transport.
It did.
Oh, because you went to Ascot Station.
We went to
eh?
Ascot Station, where the trains are seemingly non-existent.
They just don't come to Ascot
They just
train
don't.
station
and
anymore.
then he didn't have data because back then Gus never had data on his phone.
No, see,
that
I was
was
on
so-
like I was on like a 2 gig data plan. So I'd like check Facebook. Oh, data's ran out. Okay, well now I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to walk home.
Exactly.
Well, that brings me to my next point.
Okay.
Right,
Yeah.
While we're on it,
Yeah.
while we're on that one, we were all going to see the Brisbane Strikers in the
Oh,
FFA Cup.
God.
Gus goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna leave my house now. All right, you hop on the train coming towards mine because I live near the Strikers."
Can I also say I was horribly sick
Yeah, you
that
were.
day? I think I had some
You were
sort
sick
of
for a few
crazy
weeks there.
flu. Yeah, I had like a week-long illness, and I was like, I've got to go see the Strikers play because I missed the first one, and it was like an unbelievable game. I'm like, I've got to
Yeah.
go. I've got to see this, and I couldn't see.
Yeah,
I was that sick.
I can't remember this at all.
Yeah.
you don't.
No.
No, I don't think you came actually.
Was this?
I think you
Was
missed
this
out.
against City?
No, no,
Um,
he was that. You came with Ryan, I think, later.
Could have. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. This is true.
No. Okay. So
yeah,
not
and then
only-
your mate, and did your mates come as well?
Yeah,
I
they
think?
did.
So not only are you telling the faithful this story now, but you're telling me.
Yeah.
Go.
Well, he. It's getting about like 5 minutes till kickoff. I'm like, where the bloody hell is he? Like, I'm
Yeah.
trying to call him.
Yeah.
I can't call him because I don't think I had your number at this point.
No.
Because we just message on Facebook as we
Yeah.
do.
I only
And-
saved your number about a month ago.
Exactly. You just saw my number come up. You could probably read it off by heart.
because I know. Well, I didn't know it off by heart, but I knew when that
Yeah.
number came up.
But you could
I could
notice it.
recognize it
Yeah,
enough to go,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
Campbell.
Yeah.
And that was just a lot easier than, the 5 seconds it takes to go, Campbell Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, don't say
The
my
jour-
full name, mate.
The journalist.
Stop.
Oi, oi.
Oi, oi. But no, and then I'm like, Jesus, where is this bloke? How did I get contact with you?
So, I think I called you, or I sent you a text.
Because maybe you had my number.
Yeah. I think I found like a supermarket or something with free internet or
I
something.
thought you were about to say like a yellow paper.
I honestly don't know how I got in contact with you.
I don't
But
know either.
I was horribly ill. I was trying to find your place at Albion, and I was walking for like an hour.
Through Wooloowin.
I walked all the way through Wooloowin.
You got off at Eagle Junction Station, I think,
Yeah.
or
I
I remember
Wooloowin
this.
Station.
And got on the wrong train.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, you got
No,
off at
no.
the wrong station.
Okay.
I got off the wrong station.
And then walked in the completely wrong direction.
And I ended up in Wooloowin, and I just sat down on the curb, and I'm like, I'm not walking any further.
I picked you up
just
on the
can't go
other
any-
side of the suburb. Like,
I was like, I don't know where to go. I'm lost. I'm lost.
it was so funny. I just don't know how you
Oh,
managed to get that lost.
Oh, I don't know.
It was suburbia of Brisbane. Like,
yeah. It was so dark though. Albion's so dark. There
Yeah.
are no street lights. I'm like, what's going on? It's
that
crazy.
was a good one.
It was.
Moving
very
on.
good.
Okay, thinking off the cuff here, mate. I think no, guys. I think chatting to some of the people we've spoken to,
Yeah.
that's a stand-up moment for me. Obviously,
Yeah.
some of the icons of Australian sport. We've got to touch on that.
Yes.
Something
100%.
strictly podcast related. Obviously, Jeff Horn
Stephen Moore,
was absolutely incredible. Stephen Moore, Tate McDermott, Harry Wilson. Next gen
Fraser,
of
everyone.
the Australian. Wallabies.
The kind of quality
team.
of guests we've had on is unbelievable. Considering we're pretty new at this, to be honest. Like with interviewing when the podcast started. Now we've gotten a little bit of a hang of it, but when the podcast started, to get guys like Fraser McRide on and
Took us a while, mate.
Yeah.
because
It did.
when we
Unbelievable.
started this, we started the Beyond the Sidelines podcast to be the grassroots podcast
Yeah.
to cover a niche, a type of sport that isn't reported on. And I guess that quickly changed when the possibility of some of these bigger guests really started to knock on our door.
I mean, I can't believe I talked to Payne Haas.
Yes.
Like that's just
He wa-
unbelievable. The guy's probably the best forward. Don't say it. He's probably the best forward in the rugby in the NRL right now. And honestly, I was speechless. I was so nervous leading up to that interview. I couldn't believe it.
He's such a pain in the ass for the opposition too.
Yeah,
Like,
I
he's
know
so
he
good on the
is.
field.
Yeah, and you're becoming a real pain in the ass right now by telling that joke.
Hey, this is why this is
So-
52. This is why this is
Yeah,
the last
exactly. We're
regular
getting
schedule.
sick of this guy's
Yeah.
reused jokes.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Get some new material,
Gets
pal.
funnier every time. No. Anyway.
No, but that was
But
awesome.
guys, actually, so quick, like, I guess sub
Mm.
highlights within this
Mm.
highlight. What were your favorite interviews, I guess, from the 52?
Ooh.
I definitely have to say either Payne Haas or Holly Furling. I think Holly Furling was really great. She had a talk about her podcast as well that she's started.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she
which
was
is-
like our last person in person in the studio.
I know, it was
Yeah.
crazy. She's so smart.
She's
She's
very
so
clever.
eloquent in how she speaks as well.
Mm.
Understand why she has a podcast because
Mm.
she speaks so well.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
just because you have a podcast doesn't
yeah.
mean you speak well.
I know.
Evidence.
Example one here. But no, she of course she had a lot of great things to say about female cricket,
Mm.
the Cricket World Cup. Of course, that was leading up to the Women's Cricket World Cup. So
The Men's World Cup's been postponed.
Yeah,
Actually,
I know,
that's big news.
But
Mm.
no, I thought she was a great guest. Payne House, of course, because he's rugby league, and I just
Rugby league.
Rugby.
rugby league, and I was like, oh, Payne, oh my god.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were probably the two.
Yeah, they were really cool. Ryan Grant was pretty awesome.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Loved Harry Wilson and Tate as well. I actually really like Bon Scott's, which has something to do
That
with
was-
my next highlight.
yeah.
Um,
Of course. How did I
but-
forget
yeah,
that?
exactly. So that's my next one. So neither of you guys steal it.
Mm.
But no, yeah, though Ryan Grant was really cool. Great bloke. A lot of them are just such nice people. All of them are such nice people. Stephen Moore was awesome, and you know the story of meeting him, which we've said a million times on the podcast. But yeah, no,
I think
you know-
Mason
you know-
Cox.
Mason Cox was awesome.
oh,
He
yeah,
was
he-
such a nice guy.
It was like to even
He's
speak
awesome.
to him, to even organise that interview. I think was pure luck. I think I was on my way to uni one morning,
Mm.
and I had just kind of a thought of, oh, he'd be good to talk to. I'll
Mm.
send a text to him on Instagram as we do.
Yeah, we do
And-
slide into the DMs a fair bit.
And to be honest, you know, we slide into DMs and get no responses a lot more than we do.
90% of the time.
You know, so for him with 70,000, you know, Instagram followers and to be, you know, one of the faces of the sport, really, certainly of international AFL, as dumb as that sounds,
he is.
he's the
100%.
face. And then to have a chat with him and a really good chat. Like, he was such a nice guy. And then, of course, you know, Tate, Harry, you know, really great guys too. Like I said before, next gen.
Mm.
You know, we've been really lucky.
We've been
I
very
think.
fortunate, and it's been such an awesome platform. And we want to, I mean, we will get to our thanking everyone later, but we just wanted to thank everyone for joining us on the ride and buying into what we want to do. But yeah, final one, Gus.
You know what? This you might be expecting the first episode. Jack Pack, that screw up. I don't think there's much of a story there. I don't think that was that funny.
I thought it was
because
hilarious.
that was my first interview,
So
and I was
funny.
like, oh,
that was your first
God.
interview ever.
Gus,
Yeah,
but-
and I was like, oh.
Let me give it a go. So we're sitting there chatting to the 2019.
This isn't mine, by the way. This isn't mine. I've got another one.
This isn't mine either. But we're sitting there, Gus's first ever interview in his defence, and he did very well,
Yeah.
I guess, for the actual interview, until with Fraser McWright, the 2019 Junior Wallabies captain, took the side to an equal best finish as
Junior
runners-up.
Wallaby Player of the Year or something like that?
Yeah, so he later won Under-20s Player of the Year for
Yeah.
the second year in a row.
Mm.
But again, it got to the wrap-up where we're all saying, yeah, cheers, mate. You know, I really enjoyed chatting to you, and you know, good luck against East, I think it was at the time,
Yeah, I
or
think it was.
Jeeps might have been.
Yeah,
I don't
it
know.
could have been.
It was one of the Premier Grade. Wouldn't have been
sides.
East. Would have been Jeeps. Yeah, in the Premier Grade final series, and obviously Super Rugby because he was training with Brisbane City at the time as well, and Gus just went, oh, you know, you've got a lot going on at the moment. Your schedule's really jack-packed.
And then
But
started laughing.
It's his follow-up, which is the highlight to me, because he started laughing, going, ha ha ha, Jack Pack, Jack Black. It was like,
I was so embarrassed. I was like, oh my God, that did make sense. That didn't make sense.
No,
I was trying to say
fuckery is over.
jam-packed.
I know you were.
Jam-packed or, what was
No,
the other one?
that's all you were trying to
say.
all I can think of is Jack Pack.
All I can think is Jack Packed.
Yeah, well, it was just, I just messed it up.
Yeah.
It was just terrible.
And Fraser's a great friend of the show. Such a nice bloke. He's so fun.
Starring for the Reds now, guys.
Yeah,
He's made that number 7 Reds jersey his home, really.
Yeah, he
And
is.
his own. So, again, watch out, because I think he's going to sneak into Dave Rennie's Wallaby squad.
Ooh, let's hope
If
so.
the Wallabies play, apparently on that,
Mm.
Rugby Championship in New Zealand
Yes.
later this year. I think World Rugby have done something where it'll be something around November.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might be, but still watch him to
Game
sneak
for
in
that.
then.
Now, my actual top moment, I'd say it's probably close to the top. Now, we're big fans of the Red Room at UQ, which is where you can go. You get the odd drink.
Shame.
One day we decided to go in and do a hot spicy wings challenge, where I think you eat 10 wings in under 3 minutes.
In under a minute.
Or under? Is it under?
No, it's 10 wings in 3 minutes, and then
10,
and then you've got to sit there for 3 minutes, a further 3 minutes, without wiping your mouth, drinking anything, or
So originally, we were all. I was told in the group chat we're all going to do this wing challenge. It'll be great, and I'm not a fan of spicy food.
No, I love spicy food.
I think
spicy food.
Pepper's spicy.
Yes.
So
you thought water was spicy. You're telling us at the time.
Yeah. I was like, oh God, I don't know if I want to do this, and you have to sign a waiver and everything before they're like, okay, so you can't sue UQ if you die from this or if you go to hospital, blah blah blah. And they listed all the ingredients that were in these wings. And it's like ghost peppers, Carolina Reapers.
All
and
the
I'm
fun
like,
stuff.
I've recognized those peppers from being some of the hottest peppers in the world.
Yeah.
I'm going to die. I'm not a big dude, so and I don't really handle spice very well. And I was like, I am going to die.
Big dude. What do you mean?
Like,
just the volume?
It's not relevant.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Big lads seem to handle their food a little bit better.
I don't think there's any science backing that up.
I don't know. Anyway, I did it, and I completed it in
I was going up against
2 minutes
you too.
and 59. Yeah, you went up against me.
Didn't you clock in at 3 minutes 2 or something?
Yeah.
Something ridiculous.
See,
and the heat's not the problem. Well, actually,
it's the heat of the actual meat.
The actual temperature
Yeah,
of
it's
the
not
meat
the
and the bones.
spice.
The spice is fine.
Yeah.
But it's the pure volume
Yeah.
of wings and the heat. Like, you can't even hold them.
And I was trying to eat them so quickly that I think I swallowed bits of bone and cartilage
Probably.
along the way.
Yeah.
And I was
You
like,
had to, though.
you had to just finish it.
I felt
and at the end,
disgusting.
I was just like, I'm gonna throw up, and you had to sit there just like
You can't wipe your hands. You can't wipe your face. You just
And I touched my eye after,
you
and
idiot.
my eye duct was just going like that. For
And
the
you
next,
can't-
like,
you can't- you've
5
got-
minutes.
spicy sauce and chicken
Yeah.
hanging off your mouth,
Yeah.
and you're like,
And for you to do all that,
not even
and
get
not
the
even
shirt.
get the
But
shirt.
neither of you guys have got
I
the
haven't
shirt.
even got the shirt.
I'm waiting for my phone call.
I gave him my number.
I'm gonna
and
go-
they
You're
on
haven't
the wall
given
of
me my
fame,
shirt.
though.
I'm going to go down to the Red Room after this and get my
They
shirt.
haven't given me my shirt.
I'm on the wall
disgusted.
of shame, so.
Yeah.
But
So-
I can handle my spice.
But me-
it was
yeah.
just so much
But me and
meat.
Finn managed.
Finn and I.
Finn and I. Did you actually end up completing it on the
No,
second?
mate.
No, you didn't.
Didn't give it a second go.
That's a
Because
shame.
because
You're
it
gonna have
closed.
to try it again.
It closed, yeah.
Yeah, so if it's still up and running, I think CJ's
Yeah.
got to avenge that, and as soon as he
We
does...
can film it.
Oh, I don't think we want to film it.
No, but
can't-
we got on
it
the
doesn't make
with-
for great viewing.
I don't think anyone wants to spend 3 minutes of their life watching you scoff down 10 wings.
we
That's a
got
good
on
point.
we got on the Red Room's Instagram story or whatever, I think.
Oh yeah, we
as
did
well.
because we posted it on Beyond the Sidelines,
Yeah.
and then they shared it. So
Yeah.
thanks, Red Room.
That was all very cool, but that was a lot of fun too, mate.
Yeah, that is.
Again, that was another example of you. I wouldn't say being gullible, but kind of. I remember
What
chatting.
am I supposed to expect?
Agreeable.
You
know,
say,
agreeable.
okay, we're all gonna do this. I'm like, okay, I'll do it. I'm not gonna dog the boys
Because-
like Campbell does with the boxing.
let me-
I'm not
I
gonna.
had to film it. Sorry, I'm the linchpin of the technical.
I had to
I'm
film
I
it.
don't trust you
I'm
guys
not gonna
filming.
get punched in the face. I gotta film it.
So I'm the
I was
linchpin
like-
of the technical
I was like,
side of
I'm
this
gonna-
podcast, boys.
I was like, I'm gonna join in. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna face my fears of spice, and I'm gonna get
all right,
in there.
Dundee, if you want to have a full bout, I'm calling you out.
Come
I'll
on.
take you on. Don't do it.
He's joking. He's joking.
No, I'm not.
Jeff Horn, where you at? Come on, mate.
Ooh, beef.
Oh,
No, but
We got the chocolates. Face us, boys.
yeah.
no, but the whole idea, from my point of view, as mean as this is going to sound with Gusman and you, CJ, as well,
Yeah.
was using you two as bait before I did it with my brother afterwards.
Yeah.
And then Ryan chickened out.
Yeah, he did.
Excuse the
So-
pun. But
He was all too happy to watch us do it.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty poor form,
Yeah.
I'd say.
Although I got to say, he was inspirational for me.
He was.
Angus, you've got 2 left. You've
No
got
one
2
was
left. Come on,
backing
mate.
me.
And I'm like, I'll do it. I was crying.
No
I'm like,
one
I'll
was
do
backing
it.
me.
because you kept pausing. You
Yeah.
kept pausing it. I think you said something to me
I
at one
did.
point like, this is so easy.
Well, because
And
I brought
right there, everyone's like,
Because
nah.
the first 6, I absolutely flew
Oh,
through them. They were
yeah.
easy. Last 4, that's the mountain that's hardest
Mate,
to
you
climb.
That's
were,
the
you were
third
doing
quarter,
it
mate.
so quickly. You had the technique going where you'd like
Yeah.
break it open and I don't know
Yeah,
what
so
that is,
I'm
but-
actually a really clean eater. Like I wipe my mouth if I'm eating anything
Same.
remotely messy.
Yeah.
So that was the hardest thing for me, to not be able to wipe my mouth.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like
Honestly, same.
to know you guys were sitting there watching me with, my face was coated in like war paint type,
Yeah.
Chicken
Sauce.
Yeah, no, it
Yeah.
was, and to sit there and kind of just go,
Yeah.
this is it. This is me now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you kind of had to bolt. And that's what I think I learnt from you guys of like, I think I had 6 wings in a minute.
Yeah, because I was like, I broke it. I tried to go, you know what? I got 10 wings. I'll go break it down into how many seconds I can do.
How many
I have to do
seconds
them.
is it?
Mate, I did maths, eh? Don't ask me that. But I was like, okay, so I could spend this much time on a wing, and I kept looking. And then it just, those last ones, then that gets to you. So if I went full bore from the start, no problem.
Again, hopefully there's...
I was saying I wanted to do one straight after,
Yeah.
but they didn't let me because
True,
I went-
because of the waiver, you were
Yeah.
legally only allowed to do one a day.
yeah.
Yeah. Now I actually had I had a beer on tap after that, and
Yeah.
it's hot.
That was a spicy
You know
water.
it's hot when I drink the beer and I go, "Oh, this is warm. I'm gonna take this back. This is warm, and they're like, no, it's not. I'm like, oh, it's just my taste buds have just been ruined.
That is the definition of a spicy water, mate.
It is.
Actually, I do want to add, we had a judge basically sitting
Yes.
right next to us
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
a stopwatch, and he's sitting there critiquing every mouthful you eat. So I know
Yeah.
for me, again,
From the peanut gallery, mate. I tell you what.
I did fly through them. But he was really critical about, there's a little bit left on the bone, and he was throwing the bones back on my plate.
Yep,
Yeah.
as you should. As you should.
Yeah.
I'm all
Shortcuts.
for
That's
that.
why you had to eat the bones, mate. That's,
Yeah.
how, that's the only way you could do
You
it.
got a bit of bone there.
Gotta eat that.
I had to at one point, because at one point I had about 3 wings worth of chicken in my mouth.
Yeah,
And a
you
bone.
can't. You literally can't swallow.
yeah.
It's
And-
just.
Anyway, that was definitely a highlight.
Yeah.
I love how these highlights have nothing to do with the podcast.
Well,
Yeah,
I've got
no.
one that's podcast related, so
Yeah. Okay.
that's pretty good. So mine is my final one.
Yeah.
Is we're talking to a cult legend of. He was then at Perry Park. He was then playing for the Strikers.
Yeah, at City.
Bon Scott. Yeah, he's now at
Mhm.
Brisbane City. Good on him.
Return back there, right? 'Cause
Yes,
he used
yes,
to play there.
he did used to play there. So it's great that he's playing football. He kind of got pushed out of the side a little bit, which was strange to us. But anyway, Bon Scott. We're on an interview with him. Obviously named after the AC/DC singer. He's also FFA Cup heroics in the penalty shootouts. Absolute legend.
Don't remind me.
Sorry mate. But
Where's
it was
this going?
such a good bloke. Like he was funny
Yeah.
on the phone. He's Sunny Coast boy. He's a really nice guy. He went to Churchy too, but really nice guy. And we go. So we've been to a few of the Brisbane Strikers games, and we say to him, mate, or we say, I think you say something. Oh yes, I think you say. This is Gus. You say. Something along the lines of, oh yeah, this you talked about the Wellington Phoenix game, and we say to Bon mate, he wasn't at the game.
Oh God.
He was.
We called him a fake
we
fan.
call him a fake fan because he acts like he was at the game and he wasn't. And Bon Scott, our guest for that episode, called you a fraud live on air. He goes, mate, you are a fraud.
That
this
was
is- this
the
is 5 minutes
dagger
in-
just straight through my heart. I
This
was
is 5 minutes into a phone call with a guest, and he's
You
willing
call
to
me a
join in on the
fraud.
banter.
Yeah, I love that. That was probably one of our most fun interviews, I'd say. He was just up for the banter. He was a great chat, and
Yeah.
he called Gus a fraud. So he got in. This was in the
Classic.
peak. This was at peak Gus bullying time
That's
on the
classic.
podcast.
Oh God.
This is when we'd bully you every week for
So
something
unnecessary,
silly you'd
Bon.
done.
Why'd you do that,
Bon,
mate?
come back on the show, mate. We'll have you
Goodness
anytime.
gracious, mate.
No, that was good. And of course, the heroics. Let's talk about that too.
mate.
Against Wellington Phoenix. That's
oh,
why
exactly.
I said don't
It was
talk about
such a
it.
great game.
Uh,
I was
no,
there.
you were there.
I was there, yeah.
I was there.
But no, it was part of
In
that
spirit.
that whole ride, I guess, boys.
Magical
But
Cup.
I think I went to every game except the City game, and of course,
I went to
um,
every game, so
yeah, well.
we get it.
real fan.
You live right down the road.
Yeah, this is true.
But of course, we also went to watch Olympic there when they played.
Yeah.
It was great going down to Perry Park, and I guess it's the magic of the cup. It's it's the slogan of for the right reasons, gents, because that was the underdogs, getting it done and on the national stage.
Yeah, it was
these are-
awesome.
These are guys who their professional careers, for the most part, are in the books.
Yeah.
if they've had one at all.
Or they're up and coming, and they're.
But there's a mixture of both,
Yeah.
But this is where players, well, regardless of their situation, get to show themselves again on the national stage. And man, Bon Scott, he stood up.
Yes,
He
100%.
saved a penalty in extra time, and then I think 2 in
in penalty
shootout. So,
against A-League opposition.
yeah.
It's really awesome.
So he was outstanding, and I remember that actually before that game. I was really keen for it, obviously, but the Phoenix released 3 FFA Cup kits,
yeah,
and then they get eliminated in the first round. And I
Well,
was
the
like,
first knockouts, yeah.
and I was like, oh Classic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is
This
peak New Zealand sport.
this club will be the end of me.
Yeah, it will. But no, it was awesome because, we were running down the side. We were like, oh, surely it's got to be up the Solo Hill end.
Yeah.
Surely
Yeah.
it's got to be up this end,
Bloody
I was at the
YMCA.
YMCA end. And we're sprinting down the side. We're there with the faithful behind the goal. And pitch invasion was a great time. You were not happy.
No.
I remember going up to me like, Magic of the Cup, baby! And you were not having it.
I'm annoyed because the Phoenix, man, they just do it too often.
You
Same with
get
the Warriors.
so disappointed when your team loses.
Well, it's pretty hard not to get disappointed when they lose to a semi-professional team.
Do you really
Yeah,
go
that's a good
for the side if you don't get really disappointed?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes, 100%.
Oh.
You can control your emotions, mate.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. I remember when I
Big
don't know
no
which
from
one
me.
of you I messaged. It was either during an All Blacks loss. Yeah,
it was
probably
probably
you. But you got so angry.
Yeah.
It's understandable though. Like, really.
Yeah, I'll tell you a bit about that off air.
Yeah. Okay. Fair play. Fair play.
But yeah, no. Anyway, boys, my favourite moment, I guess, being a bit selfish here, was probably Finn in Japan. That whole
Yeah,
slogan.
that was great. I made
Oh,
it
can we
great.
please play it? Do you reckon you still have that audio file?
I don't think I do.
You don't?
But I can maybe find it from a previous episode.
Maybe. If you
Maybe.
can, I'd love to hear Finn in Japan again because
That was
it was
great.
just iconic.
Well, if we find it, we'll do it in the transition from this
Yeah.
part to the final third.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
but boys, that was, I guess,
F.
pretty.
I.
that was
Actually, no, we'll just do it
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
If it's played,
Finn. Then you know.
You
No,
know.
because
Finn.
we've got to be quiet.
yeah, but
F. We can just play
Oh,
it.
we can just
F.
cut it.
This is true.
It can
This
just
is
be going.
Finn. No,
Yeah.
because that was quite cool. Because I remember being in my apartment in Fukuoka, and you guys, I think Gus, you told me, "Oh, we've got some surprises for you in this week's episode," and I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay."
Oh, yeah.
And then you sent me a text later of, "Yeah, we've made a jingle for you," and that was the first week we ever had an intro song, or the
Yeah.
intro commentary.
Oh,
Yeah,
true.
we spent
Yes.
so long. We spent like
Yeah.
4 hours in here
I don't know
doing
about 4 hours.
Oh well, we did the podcast and then we
Yeah.
did all the
Yeah, we did a bunch of other
recordings and
stuff.
stuff, and we're like, got to get commentaries and stuff, and we've had that same intro. It's a good intro.
It's a really good
great
intro.
intro,
Yeah.
It came up on my feed yesterday, and I watched it again. And It's
Yeah.
kind of like, that's cool.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty perfect, to be fair.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But of
Yeah.
course, even recording those episodes while I was over there was pretty cool.
Oh,
to
it was
do.
a really cool experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was obviously the first. We knew I was going over before we started recording any of it all, and I guess we made it work. But it was also, I don't know, I got to speak to someone English,
Yeah.
which was
Yeah.
nice because of course for a lot of my time over there wasn't much of that. So
Yeah. It was really good. And the jingle was great.
the jingle was really good.
So good.
Jingle was really funny. I think don't quit your day jobs, gents. Don't get into singing. But it was still.
I
very
think we
good.
just went Finn.
Yeah.
F.
F.
I.
And you were still out of sync, Campbell.
No, we were perfect on that
No,
one.
it was
Finn in
good.
Japan.
Finn.
Finn in
And
Japan.
it was just like so out of place.
Yeah.
Loved it.
It was
Bloody
dreadful.
hell, that was good.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
plenty of highlights, gents.
was a good
plenty
one.
of highlights.
For sure.
Yeah, we've had a lot of good fun over the last year, of course. Regular episodes, as you've known them to be, ceasing. But we will, still look to record episodes in the future when relevant or whenever big things happen. But of course, hopefully more highlights to come.
Mhm.
But of course, that's year one in the books. But of course, let's just take a quick break. And then we'll get into the final third where I think Campbell wants to chat some footy.
Let's talk some bloody footy, boys. Yes, boys. So we're going to chat a little bit of footy before we say our goodbyes. I know it's a bit sad to say, but boys, the AFL, it's obviously come to Queensland and you know what, all that stuff. But there's a new revelation. There will be 20 days of footy for rounds 9 to 12.
Insane.
That's insane, mate. This could
That's crazy.
this could almost revolutionise sport in this country.
Yeah.
It worked for the Big Bash.
I was about to say,
So well.
Damien Barrett, I think he's with Fox Sports at the moment, or maybe just with the AFL, is journo. He said, yeah, it's like Big Bash style fixturing.
But
Because
that's
it is.
I don't
That's what
see
we
how
There's a
want.
game every single
That's
night.
what we want.
I don't see how they can't get away with no injuries. Like, there's
gonna happen.
There's going to be
It's gonna
so many injuries in this 20-day.
Yeah,
was it 20
because
days,
there's
20
double
day
headers.
stretch.
Like,
Yeah, I
all
think.
the time.
I think, unfortunately, this is a price the AFL and Gil McLaughlin. I think this is a price they're willing to pay, Gusman, because of the escalating COVID situation in Victoria. I think it was on Wednesday. They had about 420,
well,
480
today,
cases.
we're recording this on a Thursday. Today is the worst day.
Exactly, and
Yeah,
it's worse now
than it was.
than
at the
what it
start.
was during the peak.
Yeah.
In wave one. So I think Victoria knows it's getting worse. We've seen it bleed into New South Wales somewhat. And, of course, on Wednesday it was reported that, well, yesterday, since Campbell spoiled it, it's a Thursday today,
Yeah.
200 people unaccounted for in Queensland who lied about their border info when crossing the border. So we're absolutely lucky that there hasn't been another outbreak in Queensland. But I guess the AFL, they're going, we have to prepare just in case there is.
Yeah, trying to get as many
We have
rounds.
to do all we can to make sure we avoid that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know whether the situation is the same with the other codes, what sort of biosecurity measures they got in place. But I know the NRL, they are not going to stop. So it doesn't matter. I don't think even if it gets up to the stage that Victoria are in right now in Queensland or in New South Wales, I don't think they're going to stop.
God, they are
knowing
going
the
to
NRL. Knowing the NRL,
I don't
they'll
think
probably
they-
go, but I
don't
think they
think
should stop.
They'll try not to, mate.
They
but-
maybe should stop, but I don't think they will.
Well, geez, they're
until
obnoxious.
players. I don't think it's obnoxious. I don't until players get.
Once players get
Once
sick.
a player gets it, then they'll
Yeah.
probably
Well, I
stop.
think
But
that-
the likelihood isn't very high.
They're going to try not to stop, but I think Victoria, they're in a 6-week lockdown now, mate. You
Yeah.
know, footy players, just because you can kick a ball well and you get paid a lot more money than the average Joe, doesn't mean that you should be able to, go and kick a ball and go tackle people.
Yeah, but
It
it's
doesn't
If
make
you're
sense.
safe.
It's fine. It's fine
It
if
doesn't-
they're
it still doesn't
it's
make
fine
sense.
if they're negative.
If you're negative, it's fine.
There's no danger if everyone's who's playing hasn't got the
If they're getting
virus.
regular tests, if they're getting
And-
one like every day,
And
which
the
I
thing
assume
is,
they are.
And the thing is, right now, well, I mean, I know this is the case for the NRL. I don't know about the AFL, but they're under some real. It's stricter for them than it is for the wider public in regards to where they can go.
Yeah,
who
they can only
see.
stay at the team
I
hotel.
mean, as soon as they see someone outside the bubble, you're gone for 2 weeks. You can't play.
Yeah.
So
It's crazy, yeah.
the likelihood of it making its way into these codes, I don't know about the AFL. I assume
But
it's
they're
similar.
all stuck in team hotels.
Yeah. So
With their
the
family,
the
thankfully,
likelihood that a player's going to get it's very low.
Yeah,
It's very low.
it is low, but and if they get any cases, I feel like you have to shut down.
If a player gets it, probably.
until there's no cases in the league, and then you can start it back up again. But it's a tough one, man. But
is.
it'll be great for the fans.
It'll be great
Hopefully,
for
there's
fans.
not. I think there'll be a lot of interchanges. There'll be lots of ins and outs with
Yeah.
teams. We'll see players getting debuts where we may not have seen them getting debuts because either there'll be lots more injuries or they'll need to rotate more to avoid injuries. So I mean, I'm going to go see my doggies tonight, boys. I'm off to the Gold Coast to
Yeah.
see them play the Suns.
It's awesome.
There's a few ins and outs. Someone's getting their debut tonight. So it's a weird one to see. But we have one of the roughest runs I think I've ever. Firstly, we're playing Gold Coast, fresh off like a 50-point win against Sydney. Next week, I think we've got Port Adelaide or Richmond. And then we've got Brisbane Lions. And so we're playing Port Adelaide, Brisbane Lions, and Richmond all within 11 days. And Gold Coast the week before.
God, that's
It's
a
rough, mate.
crazy
But
thing.
I think something we've got to consider, and I think I said this a few weeks ago, is the AFL introduced 16.5-minute quarters at the start of the season exactly for the situation. Exactly for the situation that players could be able to play games more often.
Did they announce it for that though, or was
Yes.
it just?
It's a bit of both, though.
Yeah.
It was also they haven't had a full preseason.
Yeah, but still, I think
or they've had it interrupted preseason.
still that is really rough.
Oh, yeah.
I think the doggies are very much the losers. It's not even a question. They're
We're definitely the losers of this situation.
of the fixture draw. But again, it's all about the greater good of the competition.
Yeah, 100%.
And,
And it's that's cricket. Like,
Honestly,
No, it's
honestly, at the
haha.
at the end of the day, are you going to look at this year and go, okay, that was a normal premiership competition? You're going to go, okay,
No.
that they've got a deserved flag, because I think a lot of fans for every league are going to go, okay, I don't think they really deserve that
No.
because the competition was so
Yeah,
altered.
it'll have an asterisk. But Jared Lyons from the Brisbane Lions made a really good point. He said that it goes around and comes around. And the fact that all the Queensland, all the interstate teams, they have to travel every week,
Yeah.
every 2 weeks. Like
Yeah.
it's like they play
Oh, no,
away
exactly.
games. Whereas Victorian teams, they play pretty much. You're playing an away game at Etihad 1 week or Marvel 1 week, and then you're playing a home game at
Yeah.
Marvel the next week.
The
So it's
only
like,
side that I
it's a
think
home game.
the only sides that I think have a right to be annoyed is the Western Australian sides.
I think
Early on in the competition,
Well,
West Coast, they had to stay in, buddy.
they're playing at the Gold Coast.
Yeah, well, they at the Gold Coast, and they have to
Same
travel.
as
They have
the
to travel
Victorian
all the
teams.
time though. Victoria,
do.
It's the
Victoria
same
don't
as-
have to travel much at all.
It's the same
Usually.
as Vic.
Usually.
But they're still in a situation where they're living 4-hour plane ride away from home and they can't go back home. So it's like they're still
It's
in a
still
terrible.
tough.
It's still
It's-
the same situation.
It's still tough, but I mean, they can't really say that the travel impacts on how they play, really. It's
Yeah.
more the fact that they're away from families, I guess, if you
Yeah.
break that up.
It's interesting,
Into-
and you don't know why it really affects them. Like maybe they're not used to playing
Yeah.
away from home as much.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it.
Yep.
I don't really know what because they're playing every game's an away game,
Hmm.
essentially. So it's really hard for those teams. So I think if an interstate team does win the league, then it's
Oh,
a better achievement.
Well, now's
if anything.
now's a chance for a Queensland team to win. God.
Definitely.
I don't-
If they don't win it this year,
Brisbane
the
Lions are a
Lions
shout.
could. The Suns aren't going to.
Well, Suns aren't going to.
I
But the
think
Brisbane Lions are a shout.
The Suns are a pretty good story, obviously. I think they're everyone's second team at the moment.
Oh, everyone's loving Isaac Rankin.
They are. And of course, when Raul comes back, hopefully next year, hopefully he's at the same level he was before he obviously went down. And then they've got the first pick next year.
Hopefully they'll have the next Matt Rowell. But it's so hard to tell who that will be because they're not getting a full, what usually would be your year 12 season and would be, you're playing for Vic Country. You're not playing
Alliance and
any.
stuff, yeah.
You're not playing any of those games. So it's so hard to. I think it's a bit of a risky one. Whoever has
Yeah.
the first pick, it's kind of a like.
yeah.
So do you reckon you trade it?
Nah, I don't think they can.
No, because it's a compensation pick.
Yeah,
isn't
I
it?
don't think they can
this
trade
is
it.
true.
So it's really hard. So it could be another Matt Rowell or it could be a bust. So it's a tough
Well, again,
one.
the Suns, they're on such a good trajectory at the moment that, it's
Everything's up.
everything's on the up, hopefully.
Everything's
So
coming up
hopefully they
Millhouse.
pick the right player. And, man, they could be a team for the future. Hopefully, I'd love to see, like, Nat 5 or Cripps, go
Yeah,
over there.
I mentioned that before.
I think, that's the type of move that I think would excite the league. But also, I look at Fife and I go, he's not going to win a flag at Freo,
Freo.
Gusman. His career is, he can be a one-club player.
Mm.
But what does that mean?
Yeah.
Because, he'll get in the Hall of Fame. Yes, but,
Yeah.
that doesn't get you in the Hall of Fame, being a one-club player.
I would love to see him at the Gold Coast. He's a surfer. It just fits to me. Adding him to that engine room would just be
Insane.
See,
My
because he's a
word.
surfer, it works out.
It
Moving
does.
to the Gold Coast.
it does, mate.
Perfect.
No, I have literally seen footage of him when they were up here in their bubble. He was just surfing down at like Mooloolaba, not Mooloolaba, at
That's a hike.
yeah, I know a bit of a
God,
hike.
you wouldn't want to go
But no, he's
surfing
down
in
at, like,
Western Australia. Get eaten by a
Coolangatta.
shark.
Mate, it's fine down there, mate. It's fine.
Punch them in
Down-
the nose.
down there?
Exactly. Yeah.
Across there.
Across there.
Down
Across-
and across
west.
from us,
Yeah,
southwest from us. So,
Southwest, yeah.
yeah. Anyway, boys,
I think that's
it's come to that
curtains.
time.
That's curtains.
It's come to that time, boys. We will be uploading content on our Instagram, on our Facebook, so you can go follow us at those on Instagram at _beyond the sidelines and on Facebook at beyond the sidelines. Also our YouTube and all of our other platforms as well.
We'll be back.
We'll be back.
in some capacity, but again,
Yeah.
for now, this every Friday that's changing.
Yes.
But we'll be back. Better than ever, probably not, but we'll give it a go. Special thanks to, I guess, all of the guests who have come on throughout this 52-week journey. As Campbell said before, we listed some of the highlights before, but everyone has truly been amazing. Hearing about these, perspectives of sports that don't necessarily, get covered. I think about, Cridland from,
Yeah.
UQ Rebels
Yeah.
Touch.
Yeah.
These are the we've really enjoyed, I guess, talking niche sports, and it's been a really, really good journey. And I think everyone that supported us as well,
Yeah.
Mum,
you.
Dad, Katrina Shaw.
You know what? My mum hasn't even watched an episode, and
Hopefully-
I'm
mate.
gutted. So I hope she watches this one, and I hope everyone else watches this one who's followed us throughout
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Thank you.
one year.
Mm.
We've got a
Yes.
few 1,000 odd on Instagram.
2,000, mate.
Oh, do
Look,
we?
Yeah,
God.
mate.
I haven't-
Come on.
It's been
2000.
it's been really good fun.
Come on, all of you watch it.
I
What are you
think,
doing?
as Gus said before, how things have changed for
Mm.
all of us really over the last 12 months in terms of our skill set has been
Yeah.
awesome. That's part of the reason we did this, obviously, as university students, but it's also, like I said, chatting to some truly amazing individuals, which we have done. So hopefully you haven't minded us too much. We don't exactly have too much expertise, but we try.
Yeah.
We try to, I guess, fake it till you make it, and we think that sitting in a radio studio like this has gone a long way towards that, gents.
no,
But if that's curtains,
Yeah. Thanks for everyone for supporting us, and
Cheers, guys.
stay safe, faithful.
Yeah. Jack back.